Hello and welcome to this live stream. I am joined by the Dirty Box of Talking Wednesday to my right.
Hello.
I'm joined by...
We create 20...
Third sound down for you, lads.
That was a very robotic female voice for a second. I wonder what was going on there.
I'm joined by Lee from Around the Grounds.
How we doing?
We're meant to have a Jack Worko, but he's having terrible PC issues at the minute. So basically, we're going to be talking about our Wednesday memories, and I'm pretty damn sure a lot of them are going to be Thursday night because they're clearly in our head base in like what Wednesday's done recently. But I thought it'd be good to have a conversation where we all talk about our memories of Wednesday, and it might get a bit tearful because I think some of us have got some kind of like sentimental stories kind of thing. But we will be also doing, and we'll just be talking about things like that. I think it'll be nice kind of thing. But let everyone know who you are and what you do, Dex.
Oh, yeah. This is very odd, us starting a thing and you starting it, because we don't do this often.
Yeah, you're freaking out a bit, aren't you?
I am a little bit. It's very odd to be sat in this position and doing this. But yes, I've been doing... Wednesday content for a while, but technically I'm not even a Wednesday YouTuber. I've just been doing general football and gaming content on my channel for ages. Got into a lot of the FIFA stuff and then decided to sort of do a little bit more Wednesday stuff, and that kind of got interest, and we built a community out of it. So the Talking Wednesday podcast was formed, kind of by a happy accident, really. So that's mainly what all of my time on the internet does nowadays, just still doing channel videos occasionally. I know I need to do more for anybody who does watch my channel videos. And also just putting a lot of time and energy into the Talking Wednesday podcast with yourself, obviously. And
yes,
Jack, who needs to buy a Mac because his computer keeps doing this.
Yes. Lee, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, so I'm fairly new to YouTube, so still learning. Sheffield Wednesday fan, a proud Sheffield Wednesday fan at the moment. When I'm not following Sheffield Wednesday, I'm ground hopping for my YouTube channel and really enjoying the journey and making new friends.
I will say something, Dex. This man has got I think it's the fastest person I've ever seen get to 2,000 subs.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, even though I'm that hypocrite who doesn't watch football vlogs, even though I do make football vlogs, and you've popped into my recommended, and that's always a good thing on the algorithm, basically.
Is that good?
Yeah, that means the channel's like, oh, you might like this if you're a Wednesday fan. So it's really decent. And I did watch your Thursday night vlog. Very good, my friend.
Has it been about 8 months since you started the channel?
Yeah, roughly. We are looking at it. Yeah, roughly.
That's insane. That 8 months you got to 2,000 subs. Well done, mate. That's pretty decent.
Very much.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about our Wednesday memories, and I will let Dex go first on some of his Wednesday memories.
Let's go for one of the big ones, shall we? Right. Because we're going to Wembley, it's easy to talk about Wembley. I'm sure somebody else might bring that up. But I want to bring back when I was a 10-year-old wee boy, right? And the last time Sheffield Wednesday were in a League One playoff final.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. And Cardiff, obviously, because Wembley was still being revamped and still being built. So when Wednesday got to the playoffs that season, it was at Cardiff. Now, this is off the back of like me going for a couple of seasons and being right in that kid space of you've still got the awe of it all. You know, you've still got those childlike eyes of Sheffield Wednesday. Now, my uncle was the one who got me into Wednesday, and he took me to Cardiff. Now, the funny thing is, he said to me since that he saw all the glory of the 90s and all of that, and he said to me that he only said this last week. It's the first time we've ever chatted about it after the Thursday night playoff leg. He went, do you know when I took you to like your first seasons and I thought we were going to the playoff finally? So Sheffield Wednesday tend to work in 30-year cycles. We don't do very well, but then we build up and we get back to the top. I thought us starting in League One and coming back up was the start of our journey back up. So I thought it was the perfect time to get you into football. And how wrong he was, unfortunately, for Sheffield Wednesday. But I remember because I minibused and everything as a 10-year-old, right? So I think we coached, actually, not a minibus. We went down on a coach. I was way too chatty. Still am. That's probably why I do all this. I was talking too much, probably annoying the hell out of everybody around me. And I just remember it being that first match that when you were inside the stadium feeling that sort of atmosphere, it was the first time I'd ever felt it. But I realized like the camaraderie of Wednesday fans, and it was really nice to feel that on Thursday night, actually. Everybody just jumping all over each other, going mental, for that sort of thing. And that doesn't happen too often, to be fair. I'm usually someone like, no, I like my own space sort of thing. But as soon as I was like, let's just leap everywhere, when that happened on Thursday night. But it was a case of that was the first time that I remember when I can't remember the exact score in that, but there was an equalizer in that game where the ground lifted. We equalized, didn't we? Yeah. In that match, it was that. I was 10.
Was it the Steve McLean penalty?
It must have been something, but I remember it was literally a thing of it. It wasn't going too well, and this happened. And when that goal went in, just everywhere erupting around me. And the first time I'd seen like a Wednesday going nuts, and like people from the row in front of us jumping behind, everybody sort of like grabbing each other. I was like, okay, this is
different.
This is very different, yeah. But the one thing that always sticks out for me, and I've told this on the podcast before, and I'm sure it'll happen again down in London, is just somebody grabbing a football, because everybody obviously goes through and there's massive crowds going into everywhere. But I remember this Wednesday night being up on the top of a bank, right? And we were all booting footballs about. So he literally went up to the top of the bank and like threw like 5 footballs off. And then we all kept picking them back up. I say we, I was 10 years old. I wasn't doing it. I say we as in the surrounding people around me. I was like, okay, this is a very different vibe to anything I'd ever experienced. And it was just, ever since then, I was hoping to see more and more and more of it. But it's been a bit of a turbulent time of Wednesday. But having that when you're very young. And obviously we're seeing like Liam Palmer, who was at that match as well, as a fan playing for Wednesday now. So it's going to be...
That's weird.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it also makes you feel really old as well when you keep seeing that picture pop up with your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I find funny about that picture, though? Every time I thought your dad was Carlton Palmer.
Yeah, they kind of leaned into that joke after a while, didn't they?
But
yeah, that's my story.
It's one of those things where when you're that age, football, you start to get that kind of feeling that you belong to like a football team. You want to be involved with it, if that makes sense. And it's that time where I bet back then you had a lot of kids that were in school who were United fans, Liverpool fans, the big Premier League teams kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's still nice to see that we've got a new generation who are now being Wednesday fans, kind of thing. Did your phone just go?
Yeah, I've had it on. I actually took an important phone call earlier, so I've had it on loud for the first time in 10 years, pretty much. And obviously, because I never have it on loud, I forgot to take it off loud. Sorry.
It's all right, mate. the professional deck face are going, oh, that shouldn't happen.
Never. When is that? In all the years you've known me, when has that ever happened?
That's
never.
normally me.
Yes, I know.
Lee, what's your memory of Sheffield Wednesday?
So it's slightly different because I was born in London. My dad introduced me to Sheffield Wednesday. So growing up where I was, living in Essex, are all Spurs fans, Arsenal fans. So a little bit different, but just trigger points. I think for me, like Thursday night, obviously going to Hillsborough and witnessing that atmosphere, it made you see why you support this great club. Like my dad, he lives in Tenerife now, but I was stood there thinking, wow, this is why we support Sheffield Wednesday. You just had to take a moment and just take it in, and just like you buy your kits every year. Growing up, just obviously, and then like Dex just touched on the trip to Cardiff. I remember driving down with my brother and my dad. I was always little. Just such gives you reasons to support this great club, and it just it's hard to explain to people that don't understand it. It's just unbelievable, and just hairs on the back of them. I just had a moment. I was stood on that pitch. Yeah, I wore one of them on the pitch. I just I broke down. I cried. I admit it. I just wow.
I think it's things like that game on Thursday that I've got people who are fans of other clubs going, I still can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
What is that? And whatever happens at Wembley, we hope it's good for us. But that'll be in folklore. Like, when they were doing the thing where they were watching the Istanbul, Liverpool, the Barcelona, PSG, will now be the example to other clubs to go, this is what we can do if we put our mind to it. And I don't think anybody in a Wednesday shirt is ready for that being like someone looking into that. Like, tell me that you thought Pep Guardiola was going to do a press conference where he mentioned, well, he didn't mention it. He did that awkward thing of when Sheffield, which made me go, eh.
Yeah.
But you don't get a manager who's that well respected in the game talking about our club that much. And the fact that he kind of gone, look at this club, this doesn't happen in Spain, this doesn't happen in Italy. This is only a UK thing. And I think there's some pride there of knowing that a manager who's won pretty much everything is talking about your club. You know what I mean? In a way of praise.
I think that's the beauty of the English system as well, because we shouldn't really. We should obviously hold him up as a great of the game and that. But the fact is, we have our certain cup competitions, and the way our tournaments are structured is we've played Man City twice in recent history. You know, we got sick of playing Man City after a while. You know, and we've played against Pep, and it's not like there's this big detachment. Obviously, there is in terms of finances and things like that, but in terms of availability of playing each other and actual respect to teams in different divisions, there is a lot more of that in this country. And I think it was really nice to see, obviously, Wednesday sort of. Do you know what was nice, actually? Seeing Wednesday broadcast into a sort of a global stage. And unlike it was previously when we played Newcastle earlier in the season, this was actually, everything stayed positive. And there was actually a real positivity around the club, because I was just waiting for the other penny to drop on stuff, because you know what happens with Sheffield Wednesday. Whenever anything, there's always the people that come out and try and sort of tarnish that in a way. But now it was nice to see it.
Yeah,
it's still going on.
It's weird where I've had people who I know in Australia who've gone, you're on the telly. What are you doing on the telly? And there's actually like TV stations who are actually now picking up our game for Monday, because they've got people who are invested in it. And it's weird. It feels very alienated that this is happening, kind of thing. My memory from the same season of when we went up, and when I was living in Donny at the time. So it was Doncaster Rovers versus Sheffield Wednesday at Old Bellevue. And I remember all week I've been having banter with my mates, everything going right. And like, oh, we're going to thrash you. And I remember thinking, if we thrash them, I'm going to just give them. I'm just going to go ham on this, because I've had enough of the abuse all week. We beat them 4-0. And it was that remarkable Steve McLean hat trick. And you remember when we had Kenwyn Jones on for a period?
Yeah.
Came for it was like 9 games. And that was it. And we were all like, we need to sign him. Sturrock needs to get this man a contract. He's superb. And we were never going to get him in a million years on Sunday. He was just way too good for us. Take a drink. I did say it. But I remember watching that game in the crowd and thinking, this is a team I love following. This is the kind of football you like watching. But I also remember at the end of the game, as soon as full-time whistle went, I legged it out of Bellevue. Because all my mates were like, right, we're going to have you now. Because I was giving it the big I am from the away end.
Jesus Christ, you did grow up in Donny, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember the part you told me you grew up in as well. I was like, yeah. Fair enough.
So I would give it, and I remember going from Bellevue and running all the way from the race course to where I grew up, thinking, I need to get home. And I remember just walking in school the next day with a big grin on my face. And my teacher turned around and said, I know what happened at the weekend. I understand what happened at the weekend. Put your grin away. Put your Wednesday bias away. You're in a Doncaster town. I went, nope, not happening. And for me, it was weird because my dad was a teacher at the school I was at. So my dad's a big Wednesday fan. And apparently he writ it all over the whiteboards in the staff room and just left a smiley face. And it was just this really weird feeling of being really proud of your club, but in a different county that is there's a rivalry there. Kind
There's
of
that
thing.
pride in it, and colleagues especially. Like, I was so annoyed today, right? Because last week when I was working with this specific colleague, they said to me, and we great, we always have great banter about it. They'd said to me that there was absolutely no chance of Wednesday turning around because I said I was going, right? I said, I must be an idiot, I'm going. And I went, well, yes, obviously that is the logical answer. But being a Wednesday fan, I'm stupid enough to go. And obviously I went. And then this week, they weren't there. And I was like, oh yeah, where have you gone? The one time.
I think we've had that a couple of times on the 72 review where we've been doing it, and we had, I think it was the Argyle fan who was like waiting to give it some, and he wasn't there. And we're like, where's he going? Where's he hiding? And it's been a really weird one this season as well, because I don't think there've been many memorable games apart from like the Newcastle game and stuff in the league. I think the only one I can think of apart from obviously the playoff semi-final was the MK Don game where we came back. Because we weren't doing well in that. I think this season is a weird one because it feels, I don't know about you guys, but it feels like something happened this season, but I don't know what, with the team and the management.
Go on, Lee. Do you want to take this one, mate?
Yeah, so I think with Darren Moore, obviously in that changing room after, I just felt how he brought them together and just kept their heads. Obviously after the 4-0, just kept them off social media, kept them focused really. Obviously, it was a massive task. I didn't expect to overturn that going when I was sat in that car starting my vlog. Obviously, watching yours, Dex, you guys didn't. I know you joked.
That's why it's 10 minutes long, because I wasn't planning on actually ever releasing anything.
We just didn't expect it. It was just unbelievable. I just think, I get what you say, Jay. I just think you don't know what this season is until maybe you can look back on it on Monday if we do get the job. That it has been a special season. Like you said, 96 points, you're winning a league any other season. It has been a special season. I don't think anyone can take that away from us.
No, and you look at how many records we've broke this year, and long-standing records as well. I didn't think we would break that Kieran Westwood 17 clean sheets for a long time. And that feels like such a long time ago, but I thought that would take a lot longer to break. And that credit to Basso, that credit to Stockdale, that credit to Dawson, credit to the people in front of them. You look at playing at Hillsborough, we've lost once. That is it. Yeah. That is a really incredible record. There's something until we get to the end of the season properly. And the annoying thing about this week is, in my head, it wasn't the fact that I thought we were up. I was just not needing playoffs. The playoffs had just fallen at the wrong week for me because it's my wife's birthday today. It's a birthday weekend this weekend. Everything just didn't align. I'm very, very lucky to have a wife who's very football orientated, but also I know my limits of having to maybe sleeping in here if I don't do as like I would do stuff. And Dex have met my wife.
I'm not saying anything. Like, I think she's lovely.
You will say that.
I do actually think she's a lovely person, but I also know you fear for your life. So
yeah. And it doesn't help that I've got a toddler who's just as feisty as she is, if not even more sarcastic, which doesn't help.
Yeah,
but
you are definitely the number 3 in your house, or maybe 4 after the
I'm
dog.
4 after the dog. I'm gonna say you put me in a high order there. But I think going into this Monday, mate, I know you and Dex and Worko are going kind of thing. I couldn't go to this due to lots of other issues. But what a lot of people don't know is after that Thursday game, I did the debrief, but most of that day I was in bed. That game killed me. If people have seen before, I have seizures. They're not fun. They're not great. I used up pretty much all my energy in that video dream kind of thing. And it was those things. I would love to be there, but all I want to say to you, Dex, you, Lee, enjoy the memory, whatever happens. Because at the end of the day, the people who wanted to go, who can't go, who want to enjoy it, the fact that we've been given another 6,000 tickets today and they're pretty much nearly all gone.
They haven't gone up yet. They better not have, because I'm literally desperate. I've got to get one for a family member.
Yeah, they've just gone up. I think they're out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, it's tomorrow at about 9:30, and I'm just gonna pray that I can get in there and get one for because a family member. Because if I can't take them, I will feel gutted. I will be gutted because I was sorted. I've not had to worry for a couple of days. Obviously, Jack, I think we've all been sorted for it. But when you're trying to then make the memories with the family, and I kind of feel like I've got a favour to return with this, so I'm really trying to get this ticket. So that is pretty much a thing on a live stream, that if I don't manage to get one, if someone has got an extra one at cost, please DM me, because I really need to help this family member out. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my best tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the fact is,
I've got to share a room with Jack, though. Remember that. So maybe the memory, forget that part.
Oh, I forgot about that. You have, haven't you? Yeah. Are you a heavy sleeper or light sleeper?
Dreadful sleeper, generally.
Oh,
so,
okay. That'll be fun. Apparently,
yeah.
Jack snores.
I'll play really loud whale noises, and then you. What were you saying?
But you know, last season's one, Sunderland got 46k tickets. I don't see how the tickets allegation, how they've done it, it's been weird.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Barnsley end are Wednesday fans already.
Yeah, just because it was easy to get Barnsley tickets.
Yeah, you only needed a prehistory of booking a Barnsley ticket. Now, because they could take 6 per season ticket holder, I already know of people who are going in that end. Because you could just buy 6. It was 6, I believe. There, or
it was 6.
Yeah. And I know a couple of people who were going in that end, just the people that are going to absolutely have to sit on their hands. But they're going with a group of Barnsley mates, because that's the one thing about this being quite a local sort of match. I'm not going to say a rivalry, a local match. But, it's one of those things where you do actually know other fans. I actually got offered to go on a Barnsley minibus.
Did you?
Yeah, and I was like, how's that going to go down? Either way, you win. I'm going to be sat there like, we win?
Yeah.
Am I going to be allowed back on the minibus?
For Lee, this is his second trip to Wembley this season, isn't it? Right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, you did the Notts County Chesterfield.
Yeah, it's always special when you go, but obviously when your team's there. I did the old game, horrible experience, but like you said, Jay, it's the memories that you make.
I didn't know up until recently that Darren Moore was at that Hull game.
Yeah.
Isn't he a Hull fan?
I don't know. I've seen people say this. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Should we, before we pop off, should we do a couple of memories that the chat have put in? I'm assuming that's where this is going.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, you have to highlight them. It's your stream.
Just say which one you want to highlight. So look. Don't talk about tickets. Let's have a look. There we go. Play Santos at Hill for Never Look Back. Yeah, it's in.
Let's read it for the people who listen, shall we?
Oh, my dad was a Blade. I converted in 1972 after seeing Sheffield went to play Santos at Hill for Never Look Back. That's a good way of seeing that Santos team has some cracking players in it.
A lot of people mention that. A lot of people mention the seeing that Santos game. I think that's one thing that's so long ago, but it's something that's regularly talked about, and that's how memories can be made, isn't it?
The iconic Pele shot.
Yeah.
For me, the one that still gives me tingles is Chris Maguire last-minute winner versus Barnsley. Just sat for the first time in the Kop, erupted and got me well and truly hooked.
What a player Chris Maguire was. I love the way he was like our first proper S-house of a player, wasn't it? Like that I can remember. And he had that about him.
Taking my little girl, she's been 5 games this season, 1-4, drew 3-3 with Portsmouth. Hope she keeps her unbeaten form. Oh. It's things like that you like to see, that people are taking some of their mate, the family members or people who've not been before. I was at Wembley at 91 and 4 times in 93. Derby winning semi was an amazing day, but last minute of that time, Lingman, did I say it? Ligament winner was not nice. A long journey home. I think
Linnigan.
Yeah. If anyone knows, I don't do words and reading. If you're a long time listener of the Talking Wednesday, Dex does have to really properly bring me up on my spelling. It's even better when he gets the show notes. He's like, "What's that say?"
He's getting better. Self edits them now, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I started going regularly to Hillsborough in '89 and saw the golden era of the '90s. Used to go home and away. Saw relegation from and promotion to Premier 3rd and 7th. That's a good season to go. I think my first game was home Norwich 1975. We lost the cup.
Yeah, you can't. I'm sorry. I don't think you've got the true experience of a Wednesday fan if your first game wasn't a loss. And I am saying that because mine was a 3-0 loss. But
yeah, I think mine was a 2-0 loss, actually. 1979, 5 FA Cup matches against Arsenal. This is where I got my hatred for Arsenal through all the years as well from my dad. Because he used to tell me about Arsenal back then and how he just hated them.
Yeah, no, my uncle absolutely despises that Arsenal team.
Yeah. I think he's really young now. My first match was against Charlton, 14, 15. I think we all went really young in games, kind of thing. But we're going to end it there on the memories. Might do another one of these some point, because I think it'd be good to get more of the community involved as well. But before you go, shout out channels and link to your stuff, please, lads. And hopefully we get a win on Monday. I'll start with you, Lee.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm around the grounds, little ground hopper, but a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan, and praying we get the job done on that Monday. And thanks for having us on this live, Jake.
No worries. Also, another one, Lee is doing a charity game on Saturday. Eve Trust. It's Liverpool Legends versus Donny Rovers Legends. I think there's still tickets out there.
Yeah, so that's the mental thing I keep forgetting about that. All my focus on Monday. You're like, I'm playing a game of football on Saturday.
Yeah, he played a game of football on Saturday. He's up front with the Beast, which is Ekin Fenwell, which will be interesting. So
no one's going too forward on that. Be careful. No too much. We don't want any injuries down London.
Yeah.
But we'll leave a link in the description where you can go support Lee and Dan. Really good charity. I went to the game last season when it was Wednesday, and Paolo Di Canio, he still got it even at that age. It's insane. Dex, promote your stuff and where we can find you.
Yeah, Dexterity Box, just all one word on YouTube, and I'm sure I think I'm even an affiliate channel on here. You can probably see it.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, check out the Talking Wednesday podcast where me and Punk go on. I think Lee is joining us for something very shortly, actually. So Lee will be making his first appearance on there as well. For anything Wednesday, go check out Talking Wednesday podcast. And it's the Talking Wednesday podcast, not Talking Wednesday. Me and Jack were having a conversation about this the other time, Jake. You don't say podcast. You say the Talking Wednesday. All the time. Go back through any footage where you've hosted. It's that. And that's something that's going to point out to anybody whenever he talks about it now.
I'm going to pull him up on it as well now.
Well, the Talking Wednesday podcast out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. But yeah, I'm Punk Chef 41. Thank you for joining me tonight, and let's see what we do on Monday. Hopefully, we're coming back with being a championship team. Thank you for joining me and Lee and Dex on this Thursday night. All right.
Yes.
And enjoy your evenings. See you later. Have a good one.